What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Patrick's. My name's Patrick. We're outside today. We're just going to be doing a little bit of cleaning up, a little bit of organizing, some things I'd like to do today, and we'll see if we actually get to them or not. I want to set up our compost pile. Now, we've been piling it in the corner over there, and while it works, it's not very organized. It's really just a pile, so I'm going to make 2 compost piles. Right now, they're going to be in like the same stage, but the goal is to have like a ready-to-use compost pile and a new compost pile, and we'll be churning it over and stuff like that. That's the idea, check back in next fall to see if that idea has come to fruition or not. We're going to be doing a little bit more weeding. I'm going to be laying more tarp down here because I want the pumpkins to grow out this way, and I don't want to have to deal with all the weeds that we got going on there. I'm going to rip out a few of those as well, but the pumpkins are actually doing super well. These are 3 different types of pumpkins, which I think might lend to why they're growing at such rapidly different rates. These up here are the ornamental pumpkins. Kind of middle to the end, we have the jack-o'-lanterns, and on the next row, I believe, we have the cinnamon girl, which we'll use for baking. We have pumpkins growing in between the corn as well. Let me know in the comments if you guys have tried the 3 Sisters method before. Let's go ahead and get started with those 2 compost piles, because all these weeds we're going to be throwing in there. All right, well, I'm going to try to throw this in the corner here. Oh my God, almost took out my foot. Let me throw it in the same exact spot. I think this is in camera still, right? I think I'm going to put this like right here, and I'm going to do 3 posts. Bang, bang, boom, and then bang, bang, boom. We're going to wrap fence around it, some more of that like cattle wire or chicken wire, whatever it is. Fence, essentially whatever leftover we got. We're just going to pile it on top. And we're going to do 1 wrap around ideally so that it's just unlatching 1. We can open it up, give it a little topsy-turvy when we need to, close it back up. And the goal is that all of our kitchen scraps, compostable kitchen scraps, non-dairy products, non-meats, vegetable greens, stuff like that, can go right in here. That's the goal, at least. And you want these flat parts with the ridges on the outside. You want it on the side that the fence is going to be on, I think. Ridges. Ribbed for his pleasure. Alright, so as I'm hitting this down, the whole floor is vibrating. It's not really moving much, which is making me concerned that there's a pipe that goes through here. God, I hope this isn't a pipe. Please tell me this is just a rock. I don't know what pipe would go through here, though. Doesn't really make sense. Well, that went through pretty easily, so I don't think it was a pipe. Or at least I missed it. I think it was a rock, I guess. We'll go right here. It must be like a rock right at the surface here. Spread it out a little. I think there's a really big rock here. I don't want it to be too tiny. I want it to be like usable, I also don't want it to be too big. It's only go like a foot into the ground. I don't think they could stuff that low. Well, listen, I don't smell gas, and I don't see water coming out, nor sewer, I guess, so I think we're good. Let's do that one more time. Okay. We're just gonna wrap this around. Hopefully it works. This may or may not be long enough, and it is not long enough. That's fun, exciting. So we can make this reach from there to there. So this reaches here, and then we'll just make a door. This was all intentional. I planned all of this out. These fences really just want to stab you. They like to pretend like they're not sentient. Malintentioned sentient fences. But they are. Goodness, you see that? You see that? Look at this. Look at this thing. It's saying death. Death, tiny garden man. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Listen, that's door enough for me. Look at that. Composting. Now, I clearly don't have enough for this fence. I'm gonna check if the chicken wire I have is long enough. Alright, well, I don't know if that recorded properly, but both of these are fenced in. Both of them have a semi-functioning door. And I'm just going to pile these in. I'm going to try to keep the fresher greens, like the stuff that I picked yesterday, here, and the stuff at the bottom of the pile in that one. I think that's how I'll separate it. I'm not going to stress too much about it either way, though. As you can see in our weeding yesterday, I talked about this in my last video. While I don't necessarily agree with spacing guidelines 100%, you do have to take them into consideration. I planted the watermelon, the cucumbers, the honeydew all way too close. Way too close. I probably could have planted them closer than what the packaging said on the seed packets, but I planted them way too close. They just got overwhelming and they were choking each other out, and I unintentionally, while weeding them in that previous video, which was yesterday as of today's filming, I unintentionally ended up ripping a bunch out, these non-ripe watermelon. The pumpkins as of now are doing well. Knock on wood, goodness gracious, I'll show you guys in a sec. They do have some of that like white mildew, fuzzy mildew I think is what it's called, and I did see a squash beetle on one of them as well, so we're going to be spraying them heavy with neem oil. That's what it is. I'm going to be spraying neem oil, and I'm going to look into maybe something a little bit more serious because it's just devastating. We planted so many squash type plants in this small, relatively small area. All of them are transmittable, the different diseases. So next year going forward, if I'm going to be planting more than one type of squash, I'm going to really try to spread them out a little bit, because I planted everything in here way too tight. Alright, so did about as much as I can with this little pitchfork here, and I'll come back and finish that up later with a shovel. And by later, I mean I might get to it in like another 2-3 weeks, shoveling the rest of that. But this is what you have. Greens right here, and the more broken down stuff over there. As you can see, a lot of it actually is just kind of already compost. That's dirt. That's why it's not being picked up with the pitchfork right here. What I'm noticing as well is that this pile is actually, I believe, a little too dry. So I'm going to be sure to kind of water these every few days or so to help keep it moist, help it break down a little bit more efficiently. There were not nearly as many worms as I would have liked to see in like a nice healthy active compost, but I think starting to add a lot more of these fresh greens and stuff like that, maybe adding some of the green stuff on top of this more composted pile will help as well. What we're going to do right now is we are going to lay out that weed barrier next to the pumpkins here, and let me bring you in close to the pumpkins to show you how well they're doing and a few problems we're having as well. So these are the pumpkins we planted where we pulled all the onions, and they're doing very well, but there's some of that like fuzzy mildew, powdery mildew, that's what it is, powdery mildew right there. It's spreading a little bit, not too crazy. I'm glad I caught it right now, so I'm going to be spraying this down with that neem oil. But I also found some squash beetles, and I killed one of them, but I believe that is what's doing this right here, and 1 or 2 more leaves have that as well. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to pull some of that grass that's growing in between the pumpkins after we lay the tarp, and when I'm done with everything, I'm going to spray all of this with neem oil. We're going to be spraying those cucumbers over there as well as watermelon honeydew. Oh my goodness, it is a gorgeous day out right now, guys. It's gonna be like high as 75. It's still exhausting. I hadn't done a lot of yard work the past like week or so, and I can feel it. Getting old, guys. Don't get to my age, right? It's all downhill from here. Is this gonna kill the lawn underneath? Yeah, obviously. But I think these pumpkins, ideally, over the next 2 months, which would leave us to the middle of October, these pumpkins are really going to take over this spot, and I don't want to have to be weeding like I have been with everything else. So we're going to leave this here. Now let's go take a look at where we pulled the carrots from yesterday. So this is where we pulled the carrots, as well as we pulled the cucumbers that had died, the pickling cucumbers. We still have the burpless cucumbers, although they're not looking too hot right now either. So I'm actually gonna pull these tarps and I'm just going to shave this down with the lawnmower. I'm not going to lay black tarp over it. I'm just going to continue to mow it. You guys gotta let me know what I can plant right now. It is towards the later middle of August. It's August 19th to be exact. What can I plant last week in August in central Connecticut, or maybe first week of September? What kind of fall crop, if any, do you think I should plant, could plant here? Because I don't want it to just be vacant. I mean, it'll save me a whole bunch of time, guys, so I'm not against it. But I think it'd be fun to plant something else. You know, I don't want the fun to end, right? Ow. Stepping on something sharp. So, this is what we've removed. I'm going to leave that one because that's next to the beans. While I should move it before I mow, I'm not going to. I'm gonna mow. Maybe then just weed whack in between. I'd say that is scalped. Alright guys. Ow. Something sharp in my foot. Let me know what do you guys think I should do with this area. We're just gonna let it rock like this for now. I'm probably gonna come back every other day or so. Keep this scalped. Now for the fun part, guys. We have, I believe, some beans to harvest. So let's go take a look. So guys, these right here are red noodle beans. And we are going to be trying to preserve these dry. One technique is to leave them on the vine for them to dry on the vine, but that risks if there's rain or I have the sprinkler going every day, basically, that leaves the possibility for these to end up molding. So right now, from what I read, and this is my first time growing these are pencil thick, little squishy, and these are ready to harvest. Now we have a whole bunch of these I don't think quite ready to harvest. I'd let these go for another few days. We have a whole bunch these size, and some of the flambeau beans actually might be just about ready to go as well. They might need a little bit more time as well. Let's take a look at those. These are how the flambeau beans are looking. I think they need to get a little bit more red before they're ready to harvest. Let me Google images a picture. That one actually looks pretty ready. So does this one. All of these we're going to be harvesting and drying both types of beans. So we're going to pick them, we're going to open the pods, and we're going to lay them out on a sheet of paper on a drying rack and let them air dry for a few days. And they should shrink up and be shelf stable. Well, I got a little sidetracked because I wanted to show my wife and pick some with her first. And we picked a few more cucumbers as well. Ka-bing! Ka-bing! I think that's how I'm supposed to pick them. These things look so weird. I didn't do any research in terms of red noodle beans, what they taste like, or how you can cook them or anything. They just looked really cool, and I was like, yeah, it'd be cool to hang off a corn. And I was right. This is thicker than a pencil. They said pencil thick. I'd say thicker than a pencil. The beans look real plump. I just killed a horsefly that was eating a dragonfly. If you didn't have enough reasons to hate horseflies, they eat dragonflies? What kind of savages? And I want to be careful as I'm picking these because it looks like from where the beans are growing, more flowers are growing. And from what I've heard from pole beans is that if you pick them, it encourages more flowers and new growth. So don't quote me on that. Goodness gracious. We'll pick these too. I'm not going to stress too much about these because I'm just going to be air drying them. I don't have to do like a whole kind of pickling process. It's okay if I come out every few days and harvest them because I'll just be cracking them and laying them on the same sheet to let them dry. But let's look at all these pole beans. Guys, look at these weird alien looking beans. I wonder how many pods they have in each. Looks like a lot. So that's pretty cool. So I found one flambeau bean that's definitely ready to harvest. This is what you're looking like, for it to be fully red and for the background to be white. So I'm gonna pick that, although unfortunately, I think that is the only flambeau bean that is ready to be harvested. The rest still have a lot of green on them. We'll get these drying so that their buddies can join them later. Well, we ended up getting 2 flambeau bean pods, a whole bunch of red noodle beans, and 5 more cucumbers. be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you guys can watch me attempt to dry these out. And we have some more preserving coming up. We're gonna be canning some peaches. We're gonna have to be doing some stuff with the tomatoes eventually. Those are going in the freezer until we have enough to can those. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, press that like button. It means a whole lot to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Comment below what you guys think I should plant here, if anything. Let me know if you guys have any tips to deal with those pests that I'm messing around with, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.